Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
My name is Michael, and if you're new here, I've been working on a game I would like to release and publish for people to play. If you've seen my previous video, well then, long time no see. It's been a while since I posted my first devlog about my shadow game project. I bet you're expecting a huge amount of progress. Exciting new features,
16 times the detail.
an open world, multiplayer, explosions, microtransactions? Well, not exactly. In my previous devlog, I mentioned that I would have a published game by 2024. Now, why did I say that? Well, it's nice to set goals for yourself, so I was trying to throw that out into the world to say, I'm going to do this. And that may actually encourage me to sit down and do it. So, what is this game you were working on, you might ask? Well, I wanted to do something similar to the Nier franchise. That is one game I cannot get out of my head, and I want to create something similar focusing on the combat and story. I limited the project scope to the bullet hell aspect. Concentrating on the bullet hell aspect is fine, as I intend the first section of the game to be primarily bullet hell, introducing the mechanics. But down the line, I plan on adding a few different weapon types for hack and slash gameplay. Now, I have been working on the project, but I'm kinda moving at a snail's pace when it comes to putting everything together. Between the last devlog and now, I've worked on the project here and there, fleshing out the story, adding mechanics, fixing old mechanics, and I even took out some time to try and block out a small area of the first section of the game, which takes place in a small temple. With the fleshed out story, I believe I have enough content to make the first two sections of the game. But before I go into too much detail about the story and mechanics, that's not what this video is about. I'm actually moving in the direction of working on another smaller project. But wait, why start another project when you've barely made any progress on this one? Great question. First, follow along with me and I'll explain that in a bit. While working on this project, I thought I would spend money on things like concept art, 3D models, and animations, but I guess I'm really cheap.
SpongeBob, and you're spending all me money!
Also, let's just say I'm planning on taking a long vacation from my 9 to 5, so I'm gonna need to save as much money as I can. So that got me thinking, just how hard is it to 3D model and animate things myself? Sure, I've learned how to use Unity's Pro Builder plugin to create fast structures and assets, and I'm familiar using Adobe's website Mixamo for free animations. But I've never really gotten down to the nitty-gritty of how artists create characters and how they bring them to life. Forget the fact that there's a whole different course at my alma mater that focuses on these things, and it's probably not something you can just pick up overnight. That being said, a couple of years ago, I managed to snag a course for the 3D modeling software called Blender, which is supposed to teach the fundamentals of the software and some modeling concepts. I wanted to see what I could do, so I opened up Blender and...
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
He's perfect. Shout out to Grant Abbott and the team over at GameDev.tv, even though we went from this to this. That's besides the point. With this, I've learned the beauty of Blender, and I at least feel a little comfortable using the software now. So now, it's time for round 2, and we've gone from this to this. Now hear me out. I know it's not AAA worthy, but I'd say it's an improvement. Okay, but what does this have to do with me making a new project? Well, stay with me, I'm getting there. So, as I was learning Blender, we were supposed to make an orc and an ogre. But in my mind, I'm always trying to be unique and different, so I tried swimming against the current. As mentioned previously, I received concept art for the main characters of my shadow game project, Cole and Shadow. I somewhat thought, hey, what if I made Cole? Yeah, that ain't Cole. So, if this isn't Cole, who is it? Wait a minute. Years ago, didn't I make a story? A story about a boy who went out shopping for headphones only to discover that there was more to the world, like magic. I did, didn't I? After dusting off my old Google Docs document, I found the story I had been writing in high school. Let me summarize the first few chapters. A smart honor roll student named Milo decided one day that instead of studying, he would hang out with his group of friends. During the shopping trip, the group found themselves in a music store. One of the friends remembered they were in the market for some headphones, so the group set out to find the perfect pair. Upon inspecting the selection of headphones, they may have found the one. After passing the headphones around, it was Milo's turn to try them on. Absorbed in the sound of the headphones and vibing way too hard, Milo looks around and notices that time has come to a stop. He was then confronted by a man who screamed rockstar vibes with a goatee, tight leather pants, a leather vest, shades, and a guitar on his back. Thinking Milo is luring him into a trap with the headphones, he attacks Milo with his guitar, which transforms into a sword. But Milo is saved by a mysterious girl who urges him to run far away. Milo does as she says, but remembering his friends are still in the store close by where the two were fighting, he turns around to try and save them. After realizing Milo has come back, the rockstar takes advantage of the situation and attacks the girl as she's distracted. The attack is fatal. He turns his attention to Milo. As the rockstar advances towards Milo, the girl yells at him to try the headphones, saying they will give him an advantage in the fight. Upon putting on the headphones, Milo feels a sense of power he's never felt before. The rockstar's movements become slow to Milo as his senses begin to heighten, and Milo becomes stronger, allowing him to win the fight. Reading through these chapters of my story got me thinking, though I envisioned a kind of anime aspect behind the story, what if I made a game out of it instead? Is that possible? I don't have any concept art for Milo, but the character I modeled gave me real Milo vibes. I then decided to import my character into Unity. I messed around with some free animations and was super happy to see my creations come to life. After seeing that my 3D models didn't completely break anything after importing them, I whipped up a quick document to try and see how I would make a game from the chapter that I read, and I came up with dun 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 dun, Project Feel the Vibe. So, long story short, while I had intended to create the characters for my Shadow game, I ended up making a model that looked nothing like the intended character. The character then jogged my memory of an old story I wrote in high school. I've been thinking about this Shadow game since I graduated from college, and I have many of my ideas documented. I know how I want it to flow, but I don't want this game to be a learning trial. I want to learn how to create my own animations and models, and I aim to achieve this with this new project. I honestly think I have a better foundation to build off of with this. I also want to focus on systems rather than creating a full game. So I may try to develop a small vertical slice to showcase all the mechanics together in a controlled environment. Overall, the purpose of this video is to demonstrate some accountability for my project. I plan to dedicate 6 months of my time to sit down and focus intensely on creating something tangible and fun that people can get their hands on, showcasing that I have what it takes to succeed in the video game industry. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, first of all, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope this video was interesting or helps motivate anyone working on a project. I know watching these kinds of videos helps keep me motivated to continue working on things and not give up, so I hope it has that same effect. Secondly, I wanted to make a little announcement. You are now looking at the head of Well-Dressed Game Studio. Is it necessary to start a video game studio? I don't know. Probably. Either way, I'm doing it, and who knows, maybe this project will be the first commercial game I send out to the world. Additionally, I have a new channel that will primarily focus on videos related to project-specific features. If you head over there, you should be able to see how far I've gotten into the prototyping phase of the music system. This channel started as a personal channel to document my journey as a game design student / graduate. From now on, I will be creating content like this that delves into the creative process of developing content for my projects. I plan to make an analysis video on music mechanics in video games, which relates to this current project, Project Feel the Vibe. I think it'll be a super interesting topic, so you can subscribe to know when it's released. And one final wrap up, I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace!